To special coverage. COVID-19 hit home here at KRDO in early November. One anchor person after another testing positive for the virus. Each of us hoping and praying we didn't give it to our peers.
Or our families. Tonight, our own Lauren Barnes sits down with the team for an up-close look at what it's like in surviving COVID-19. She is live at our newsroom. Lauren.
Well, Heather, Bart, you two, along with sports director Rob Namnoom and myself, all contracted COVID-19 within a matter of days and weeks of one another. Having each other we talked about to lean on helped us get through it. And now tonight, we hope sharing our stories of surviving COVID-19 can help some of you at home watching this as well.
COVID-19.
Long lines for a COVID-19 test.
A virus that's taken over our world and our lives.
COVID-19 is causing court chaos.
Killing thousands of Coloradans.
You've been exposed to COVID-19.
The very virus we keep tabs on.
73 cases and 2 deaths.
To keep our viewers safe.
Test samples may have been compromised.
Struck the KRDO newsroom.
One of our very own, Heather Skold, tested positive for the coronavirus about 8 days ago.
On election night, November 3rd, Heather learned she was exposed to someone with COVID-19 and went home before the 10 p.m. newscast.
Election night, yeah, that was super fun. And at 9:50, when we're just starting to look over the 10 o'clock show, Heather goes, "I'm going home." And I'm like, the one night I could really use some help here.
Symptoms developed soon after.
I would say I didn't recognize it. At first, I was just feeling really tired, and I just chalked it up to some other things that were going on. I had a little bit of a headache. It was odd because it was around my eye sockets.
COVID-19 snuck up on all of us over the next several weeks as the virus hit all-time high numbers across southern Colorado.
COVID-19 case numbers are skyrocketing.
My first symptom was fatigue. I was just wiped out. But it was the same day as that Bear Creek fire. And what they are hearing from fire officials right now, let's go back to Scott, when we were on the air for probably 3 hours straight, so I didn't think a lot of it either.
The mental fight, at times, more daunting than the physical.
And in that first day or two, when you don't know how bad it's going to get, your mind starts to wander and you start to really go to some dark places and wonder, could I be one of those people that doesn't survive? And that was scary.
For me, I was actually filling in, doing the 4:30 news for Bart because he was dealing with COVID. And sometimes the studio here is pretty chilly. And my nose ran twice during the newscast. I didn't think anything of it.
And after anchoring Thanksgiving Day,
To better serve the community this Thanksgiving,
I was homebound with the virus too. Surviving COVID-19 proving to be different for each of us. Rob, who suffered from a heart attack in 2019, avoided serious symptoms.
The coughing, and then I got a fever of maybe 99 and a headache. And that lasted for 36 hours, and then after that, I had nothing.
I lost my smell, not the taste part, but I definitely lost my smell. There were a couple days there where even just talking would trigger this like cough response. I liken it to standing on top of a 14er where the air is thin, you feel like, I really want to descend to where there's more oxygen.
and you mentioned you had trouble sleeping because of body aches.
Yeah, I had fatigue was first, then about 2 days of fever, then a few more days of body aches, which were the worst part for me because I just couldn't sleep.
And sometimes guilt prevailed as the most severe symptom of them all.
Did any of you feel like once you learned you had it, there was this stigma attached that you were almost ashamed of your diagnosis? A part of me, even though I felt the same way, that I took all the right precautions, a part of me felt like, did I do something that allowed me to catch this virus?
Well, I think that just illustrates how very contagious it is. This is not just your normal run-of-the-mill seasonal cold or flu.
I think for me, I just didn't want to give it to anybody.
Months after being cleared to return to work, lingering feelings of fear of the unknown remain as doctors and nurses warn of long-term effects. Each of us, though, thankful to return to the newsroom, back to work to keep Southern Colorado informed after surviving COVID-19.
We are relieved to be able to report tonight that KRDO has been off the state's COVID-19 outbreak list for at least 2 weeks now. Live in the newsroom, Lauren Barnes, KRDO News Channel 13.